Hello, everybody. I am back. Sorry my upload schedule and my stream schedule has been so off. I'm currently in the process of moving to a new location, um, among other issues. But I am currently going to be streaming Genshin, the 4.7 update. There is a new Archon quest. I believe it is Dainsleif's quest. There is a new banner. Clorin and Alhaitham. New 4-star is out, Sethos. So we're going to be taking a look into all that. I have done some progression off camera since the last stream. It has been a decent bit of time since that last one. Give me a second while I am currently posting my stream up. Making sure I post it in the Discord, and we should be good to go. What up, Kirby? Welcome to the stream. Always lovely to have you here. Just making sure I get all this up and running, and there we go. So, as with last time, let me hold on. Let me just make sure my audio is working. There we go. So, as I was saying, Clorand banner is up. Alhaitham banner is up. Sethos, Toma, and Bennett are the 4-stars that are on the banners. Obviously, they're weapons, and there is still the standard banner. In terms of quest, there is Clorand's story quest, which we will be taking a look at, and the Archon quest. So, before we get into any of that, let me show you what I've done so far. Updates since the last stream. I have gotten a few characters up to 90 and able to be up to 90. I am preparing for the new Spiral Abyss, where it said it's recommended to have 18 characters fully built, so I'm working towards that. Arlecchino is now one of my new mains. If I go into party setup here, I have this main setup, which really good setup. I have my Geo team. I have what I've currently been running. And this one I've set up to just test out for any Animo needs. Yeah. So, let's switch my gadget back over to this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a pecker by the toe. If you hollers, let it go. Out goes Y-O-U. We're doing the Archon quest first. Let's see.
Perfect. It's you two. I have a commission here that has your names written all over it. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say you're the only ones for the job.
So before I continue with the audio dialogue, I will try to be as quiet as possible for any audio dialogue and cutscenes. If I skip through anything too quickly, I do have a YouTube channel where the streams get posted, as long as everything is good in terms of copyright. Um, a link to the YouTube and the community Discord where I post when I'm live is in my Twitch profile. For people watching this later on YouTube's end of things, there should be a link to the Twitch where you can come watch me live in the description of that video. If it is not, please post a comment and I will hop over there and fix that. Let's continue.
The only ones for the job? Huh. If our help is really that important, it's probably some Archon class
The Adventurers Guild doesn't employ that kind of classification system. In fact, this commission is also probably not nearly as intimidating as what you're expecting. All it asks us to do is to find a missing person.
Huh? Then why did you say we were the only ones for the job?
I came across this commission while reviewing our backlog not too long. It seems simple, but our records indicate that over a dozen successive efforts to complete it have all ended in failure, despite attempts by several accomplished and renowned adventurers. With the reputation of the Adventurers Guild and the performance of the Sumeru branch at stake, it's in our best interest to assign this commission to the adventurer with the highest completion rate over the past few years.
Well, that's us for sure.
All I'm asking, if it proves to be beyond your capabilities as well, I'll talk to the commissioner about canceling the commission.
Okay, so who are we looking for? And what is it about
This commission was jointly issued by the residents of Vimara Village. They say one of their own villagers has gone missing. But the problem is, they don't know the missing person's name. They can only provide information.
they're all from the same village, but they don't even know his name? If so many adventurers have failed to complete this commission, maybe this missing villager does...
Unlikely. Several villagers came by to issue the Besides, putting up a commission requires a processing fee. In any case, it would probably be best to go to Vimara Village and ask around first.
Alright then, let's go! I'm on start...
Again, sorry for skipping through some dialogue, but I tend to do that for the sake of time. If you want to go revisit anything that I have skipped through, you should be able to pause the video on YouTube later. Other updates on what I've done off camera
We
is...
made it to Vimara Village! Why don't we talk to some of the villagers to learn a little bit more about the missing guy? If this commission is really as challenging as Catherine made it out to be, we're gonna need to carry out a very detailed investigation.
Other updates of what I've done off camera is Inazuma is now at statue level 10. I've been working on Sumeru and Fontaine as well. In terms of the trees, I have been upgrading them in order to get Primos for wishes. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I've done a lot of exploration. Oh, and my reputation in Inazuma is maxed. So I've been working on Sumeru next.
Hello there. You looking to buy something?
Oh, no, we're adventurers. Catherine sent us to look into a commission.
Ah, so you're here about that, then. Ah, you're not the first, that's for sure. To be honest, we aren't holding out much hope. Many adventurers have made their way out here. We've pretty much had it up to here in questions, and the area around the village has practically been overturned in search of clues. But no one has been able to make...
So, this person we're looking for, what's his name? Where did...
I don't know. I really have no clue.
Okay, guess you're...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound short with you. I was actually just giving you my answer to your questions.
I've been feeling well, Kirby. Still dealing with the issue of the hospital sending me through the roundabout, so I have appointments with specialists scheduled. But other than that, I've been doing good. We got the new house, so we're in the process of moving everything. Lifting heavy things is not good for my issue, though, so it is what it is. Hopefully I will be in my new setup by the end of the month. No guarantees on that, though, but hopefully I will have my PC set up so I can start streaming on the computer as well. I mean, it's fine. I've worked in household moving for quite a while. So, in terms of actually moving the stuff, it's me, my dad, my brother, we've all done it before. We've all worked on a truck. I will, Kirby. I will be careful. Whenever picking up anything heavy, you have to be careful. That's for anybody watching this stream now or later. It's best to rely on people who have done it before.
I know it may seem like we don't have anything to offer by way of information, but I promise you, we all have a very strong impression of him. When you live in the same village as someone, you develop a lot of memories together, you know? We just don't know the specifics. Maybe we did at one point, but that information is long gone by now. At least that's what everyone in the village seems to think. We've all exchanged what we know, and that was the only logical conclusion.
All right. Specifics aside, then, what kind of person was he?
Young guy. In his early 20s, probably. Incredibly kind sort of person. Always willing to lend a helping hand. I'd chat with him when I didn't have any customers. I even saw him stick out his neck for others on more than one occasion. Very interesting guy, that one.
Now that you've started talking about him, you don't seem nearly as down in the dumps as you did before. Seems like he left a pretty good impression on you.
But of course, everyone in the village is pretty fond of him. We wouldn't have issued that commission otherwise. There aren't many young people like him nowadays. So genuine and pure. To think that he just up and disappeared one day. I just hope nothing bad happened.
Could he have just moved away without telling anyone?
No, he's not the type to leave without saying goodbye. And anyway, moving away without being seen by a single person in the village? There's...
All right, thanks for the information. We're gonna go ask around some more.
Staring into my eyes is ill-advised.
So,
I can't promise you'll like what you see.
Let's continue.
It's that guests I hear.
Hi, Grandpa Amadea. We're here to help you look for the guy that's gone missing.
Ah, so that's what brings you to these parts. Coming all this way for our sake. That's so very kind of you. With your help, I trust that young man's case is in good hands.
Could you tell us a bit about him?
Of course. I'm happy to help any way I can. With my failing eyesight, I'm afraid I can't offer much about his appearance. But I do remember hearing the sound of his voice. Not recently, of course. That loss has left me feeling quite empty. I don't think his parents are still living in the village. But somehow he never seemed lonely. In fact, he was usually the one offering companionship to others. He would often take time to visit the elderly, or play with the orphans in the village. And whenever someone had something on their mind, he was there to listen with open ears. He always knew just what to say. As the village chief, I owe him many thanks. Helping villagers navigate difficult moments in their lives should have been one of my responsibilities, but he was often the one rising to the occasion.
Wow, he seems like such a nice and gentle person. No wonder his disappearance affected you all so much. But, you wouldn't happen to know any details about his name, address, or family situation, right?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but I just can't remember. No matter how you look at it, I should know those things. But for some reason, no matter how hard I try to remember, the information just doesn't come. Perhaps my age really has caught up with me this time.
It's okay. There's no need to force yourself to try and remember. We'll figure something out. Well, Traveler, what do you think? Paimon thinks so too. Like, the name thing. It's so weird that no one remembers his name. And nobody has been able to tell us anything about his family or where he lived. It's like this guy's been erased from reality or something. Wait, so you're saying it's not that he's been erased, necessarily, but more like he never existed to begin with? Okay, Paimon's gonna need some time to process that one. Someone who only exists in people's memories?
You two are the adventurers who just arrived, right? You're here for the Vamara Village Commission?
Yep, sure are. We were just looking into the case.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank goodness you haven't given up. I've been so worried the Adventurers Guild might cancel our commission. My name is Atosa, by the way. I grew up here in Vamara Village. Anyway, I just wanted to say, please keep searching for a missing villager. I'm begging you. You have to find him.
Yeah, no need to worry. We'll give it our best shot. So, were you close to the missing villager? Are there any leads you can give us?
I'm not sure this counts as a lead, but follow me. There's a place I'd like to show you.
All right. So, stream, how are you feeling? Anything new for anybody?
There's no rush. I'll have another talk with him.
What greater pleasure is there than the unexpected?
Before we continue with
Something
this,
with which to commemorate this occasion.
this quest here. I have some stuff I have to do before I forget it even here. So, there's an enemy somewhere.
Overruled.
For those of you who got Arlecchino during her banner, and you want to know what sort of build I have, I am running mainly attack staff focused.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Clear this.
An impressive bounty.
And just mark this area. So Arlecchino's stats here. Wrong. So her current stats are at what you can see. 2,600 attack, 36,000 max HP. Her weapon is level 90, and it is her 5-star weapon. For artifacts, I have 4 harmonic convergent, fragment of harmonic whimsy, sorry, and 1 gladiator feather. In terms of what each artifact is, main stat is HP. I'm considering changing that over to attack, but this one works. This one is attack with a decent set of substats. This one I'm considering I need to change. However, for now it works. Base HP. It does have a pretty decent attack and crit rate in there. But out of all the ones I have, it is currently the best. And her feather is base attack, crit rate, HP percentage. I could get a better one, if I'm being honest. Normally when at a withering site, there's generally some sort of dendroth to it. I don't know. Not too important at the second.
Laid bare.
Come on. So for this kind of puzzle, You need to hit this thing with Dendro. Hitting it with Pyro will basically make it inactive. And when you get it to the spot that you want,
There is no escape.
hit it with Electro. Now, in terms of Pyro application, Arlecchino is not good for it when she's out of combat.
Overruled.
She still can, but her cooldown takes a decent few seconds. When Bond of Life is active, all of her attacks are Pyro application, which is good. But generally it means waiting. Come on, there we go.
Ah, something with which to commemorate this occasion.
Pitiful. Transfixed. Pitiful.
Grab that while I have the Pyro. These little puzzles things here, gotta hit them with Dendro.
Right.
Illusion shattered. Huh.
I am terribly sorry. I told you guys I was going to be doing the Archon quest, but I'm currently exploring. Although, works out for reasons. It's really just ADHD impulse. Just going, hey, I want to do this now.
Quietly now.
I will go back to the Archon quest after I complete this stuff.
Take it easy.
And I missed that entirely. That was just a terrible shot. Boom. Man, I love doing that.
An impressive bounty.
Now the question is the Dendroculus up or down? Most likely down. I had to take a guess. Yep. Right here. Ooh, actually, I need these.
Strike a pose.
Farina's skill, by the way, her elemental ability there, allows you to run on water. Farina's banner is coming up soon. I highly recommend, if you do not have her, that you save and pull for her. Farina makes it to where you can run on water, and yes, her skill, her ability will cooldown will refresh before it makes you sink into the water, which means you can run from Leeway, Mondstadt, wherever, all the way to Inazuma before the quest starts for anybody who's starting out. So, if you get Farina before you go to Inazuma, you can get to Inazuma very easily. Using her ability there. My brain is all over the place. Right, our conquest. Where am I at for this? Oh yes, by the way, every nation after you complete their statue to level 10, there will be an extra Oculus. The nations that I have at the statues at level 10 are Mondstadt, Liyue, and Inazuma. I am working on these two, Fontaine and Sumeru. The Chasm, I am somewhat close to completing the gadget there that uses these. The trees I'm still, and the fountain I'm still working on. I don't have every Shrine of the Depth in Sumeru Fontaine. I do have them for the other nations, though. Let's see. And Enconomia, whatever the hell that place is. I have barely touched it. In terms of building characters, I am all for people more knowledgeable than me to come in to stream and help me out. Because I really want to be one of those players that can do millions of damage in one hit. I understand it's specific builds, it requires specific artifacts, and you have to get lucky with them. And I know it has to be a fully built team, generally including Bennett. I do have Bennett C6, though.
Is this the place? Under this tree?
Yep. I know it doesn't look like much, but this place is very meaningful. We used to always sit together under this tree and talk. Sometimes we would look up at... I was actually adopted by the people of Vamar village. The forest rangers found I was surrounded by such good people and...
Alone?
How should I put it? Everyone has their own problems to deal with. Even if... Really? You know exactly how I feel?
Aww.
Wow, that sounds really nice. You're quite lucky. When it comes to our missing villager, no matter what came my way, I knew I could always talk to him. He was so thoughtful and pure ever since he disappeared. No, none of those things matters.
Wow. You two must have been... Did he ever tell you anything about himself?
He mostly just talked about interesting things Oh, right! I did ask him about his parents once. I didn't know whether that meant they had left the village.
Still not much...
Look at me. Talking... The last time I talked this much in one go was when we were... come to think of it. Every time we talked, it always seemed to be around dusk. Time always passed by really slowly.
Well, time always seems to pass slower when you're relaxed, right? What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, look at those hilly trails. The Abyss Order. Uh-oh, we've been spotted! This one's got your name on it! Hiya! Hey there! Hiya! Feeling lucky?
Oh, I missed that one.
Here comes the catch. Overruled.
Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting.
It was no trouble.
Now that I think about it, they seem agitated and went off.
Well, we should head back and check out the situation in Vimara Village just in case. If the abyss... Wait a
Cutscenes.
second. The person... It's Dane's lab!
Ah, it's you two.
Oh, a friend of yours? Well, I'll leave you all to it then.
Yep, see you later. Why do you always have to pop up out of nowhere like that? Is it your life's mission to jump...
It's hardly personal, or intentional for that matter. As long as you and I are both in pursuit of the Abyss Order...
Ah, so you're here to investigate the Abyss Order then.
Naturally. Hold on. Are you not here for the same purpose? No matter. It may have taken you a while to catch on, but I'm sure you've also realized by now that there's something strange about this place. The Abyss Order is most certainly planning something in this area. Or worse, their plan could already be...
So you think the Abyss Order is behind the Hilly Trail act?
As things stand, I highly doubt that is their primary motive. I would imagine the increased Hilly Trail activity is merely a byproduct.
Still, the Hilly Trail activity is causing a lot of problems for the people here.
The best way to protect them is by figuring out what the Abyss Order is truly planning. That is how we prevent further tragedy. And you shall have them. I never intended to hide anything from you. Don't worry. There should be...
For those who don't know who Dainsleif is, he is somebody from the destroyed nation of Conria. If you do not want
So
spoilers
that was
about
the commission
this,
that brought you here
run
to
away.
Vimara Village. Someone who seems to only exist in people's memories. That is indeed quite intriguing. It appears all we have by way of clues is increased Hilly Trail activity.
Right! That mysterious voice he heard in his sister's memory. The one who called him...
Traveler, let me ask you this. Do you believe your sibling to have betrayed you? I sense hesitation in your words. After all, you still haven't figured out there's still hope for the two of you to reconcile. Irreparable damage has not... The sinner you wish to know about. His situation is different. He and his fellow sinners have long betrayed me, and long betrayed their nation. His name is Vedderfolnir, the Visionary. I'm loath to admit it, but he is also my kin, my older brother.
Your... brother?
There were 5 of them, the 5 sinners of Conria. The wise Roptatir, the visionary Vedderfolnir, Gold Rhindaughter, the foul Sertologi, and Rehir of Solnari, Rerir. No matter how eroded my memory may become, I will never forget their names.
Wait, some of those names sound really familiar. Rhindaughter is the one who created Albedo. Sertologi is Skirk's master. And the one we just learned about, Dane's brother, Vedderfolnir. If he was the voice of the sinner, then the one who inspired Clotar to create the Abyss Order was him.
They were once people of great esteem in Conria. Those who carried the hopes of the nation. They were the best of their peers. 6 of us. Together. We should have been the ones to prevent the disaster. The ones to stop the Vinster King from continuing to rock the foundation. Yet, deep within, the 5 of them craved something more. They could not resist the call of the Abyss, and divided among themselves a power that could destroy. So they became sinners, but also transcendent beings, Each, and when the cataclysm occurred, not one of them stood up in defense of their nation. Not one came forward to prevent the tragedy. And for that, indeed, if they are not stopped, the day is sure to come when they will also betray the entire world. Of course, as I said, I never intended to hide anything from you.
So, Dane, what have you been looking into all this time?
I've continued to investigate the questions surrounding the Loom of Fate. It's been quite some time since the initial By retrieving the eye of the first field tiller, we were able to
corrupt Osial and make a god or something?
Indeed. However, it's obvious that was just some sort of failing to obtain it. They've skipped the experimental phase and found there are many signs pointing to that effect.
Then what should we do?
Our most pressing concern is to determine the purpose of the Loom of Fate. From there, based on the intel I've gathered so far, I suspect the Loom of Fate is related to the ley lines in some way.
The ley lines?
Traveler, you were able to observe your siblings' memories last time, yes? I believe that was due to my recent investigation has shown that Abyss Order activity in a particular area is usually followed by a series of issues with the ley lines.
Wait, then our commission here in Vimara Village, the person who seems to exist only...
It's certainly possible.
Well, if we're teaming up with Dane again, we're gonna need all the energy we can get. Let's try it. Well, let's go find Dane. We've got a lot to do today.
Alright, people. Let's see. Before we do that, though, not enough for a wish yet. How about with this? Yes! Yes, it is. Before I do that, we're going to do something a little differently. We are going to try the characters real quick. Let's see their playstyle. For these, I generally tend to solo the character, but I will use the teammates as needed. Well, this is different.
Hunt them down. Ready.
Okay, so her ability turns her normal attacks into electrocharged pistol blasts. So she's a close and range fighter. Not a long distance.
Evil lurks. Shoot on sight.
Stop right there! Justice will prevail!
Looted.
And it appears her damage increases as her bond of life. Although, I have a feeling that means she will not be able to.
Time to testify. Ready.
If her bond of life works similar to others.
What a disgrace. The victor is declared.
I mean, it's okay.
I summon thee!
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Sorry for the cough.
Fire it up! I got you covered!
You asked for it!
No rest for the wicked. As you wish, mein Fräulein. Supporting fire!
She's okay. I might not grab Chlorian this banner. I'm sure she'll make a rerun. I will probably go for Alhazen. Wyden is a pretty decent Electro character. I do think I need a few more Dendros. Nahid has been carrying my Dendros. And considering that Alhazen's trial only has 2 support characters,
Ready, steady, go!
I think Alhazen is the better bet.
Defract!
Yeah. Let's try out Zethos.
Stay put!
Excuse me? Move or be moved!
Another Electro Archer. His burst makes all of his attacks Electro.
Way ahead of you!
So he's kind of similar to Fish overall.
Break this off to some hey, go away! You blame!
You are not welcome here. Give me some space.
I summon! Don't touch me! Yeah, don't be scared!
Oh, okay, your charged attack does a lot. I'm gonna leave the other trials for now. I figured out what I wanted to figure out, so I definitely think my banner pulls are gonna be with Alhazen. I am close to guaranteed banner art. If I go into my history here, I don't know if the stream will show this. Each page shows 5 wishes. It will not have updated yet for that one I just did. But I have done 65, 66, 67 pulls since my last 5-star.
Dane? Hello, Dane? Why are you just... Did something happen?
The missing person from your commit.
Oh, a young guy? Early 20s?
There appear to be certain memories in my mind that weren't there before. Memories of him.
Maybe we just...
No, it wasn't a dream. They're memories, and I'm certain I've never met this person before. I remember handing him the eye of the first field tiller.
What? Okay, so this missing person definitely has something to do with the Abyss Order then!
Indeed. And it appears he...
Wait then. All the memories the villagers have of him, but why would he do something like that?
Whatever the Abyss Order is planning, an important truth has been revealed to us this morning.
What sort of truth?
That their goal is still to obtain the eye of the first field tiller. They haven't stopped. I am the only person who knows its location. Perhaps implanting that particular memory was an attempt to interfere with my... Your concerns are not entirely unfounded. I don't believe the Abyss Order is capable of all... However, considering their single-minded pursuit of the Eye, come with me. We must check...
Oh, so you're going to take us to it?
Of course.
All right. By the way, another tidbit for any, another tip for anybody who is just starting out with Genshin. Open up your map and find grayed out circles that look like this shape. These are way shrines. Before you actually need to complete any real nation's quest line, you can run out and claim these way shrines. The only one that's slightly locked is Inazuma, except if you have some way to get across this ocean. A lot of people have, in the past, have done ice bridging. If you have Farina, you can just run. It takes a minute, but you can do it. Do not go to Narakumi Island first. It will kick you out by the guards. I highly recommend your first stop. If you go through Leeway, you run straight down to Watatsumi. This is probably the best straight shot you will have, although Narakumi is slightly closer if you start from Guyun Stone Forest. Another little tip for players that are just starting out. The faster you can get a Serenity Teapot, the better. It is very, very useful. You want to build it up to max level as fast as you can.
Not an easy place to discover, that's for sure. Well, let's go check to see if it's safe.
Traveler, wait. We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
Somebody's messing with Dane. Just for this domain,
Stay close and you will live.
I'm going to do this.
Things are about to get dicey.
Everlasting as the moon.
Well, that was a waste of a burst.
It appears the mechanisms here have changed over time. You can access the upper floor through the side door. Perhaps you should try reactivating the mechanism over there.
Okay, so there are chests in here that we have to cautious not to skip past.
Laid bare. Quietly.
Make sure all the runes are pointing in the direction indicated by the light. That should unlock the mechanism. The door's open. Let's go. Our destination is just up ahead.
I probably could have done that in less steps, but I messed up there.
Looks like we can't go any further.
Be on your guard. I sense the presence of the Abyss.
It's the Abyss Order! They're here!
Overruled. Gotcha. Here comes the catch. Witness my rise.
Just as I suspected. The false memories were a trap. Now that they're in the vicinity, we should have a chance to...
Dane? What's wrong?
Can you feel that? There's been...
Wow, you must be really sensitive.
You too. Do as I say. Use that mechanism over there and leave this place. The Abyss Order is putting something in motion. If you return to Vimara Village, I suspect... Just think of it as a way to divide and...
It's very simple. Just don't let him keep the eye. Oh, it's Lumine.
I knew going along with your trap would be the only way to meet with you face to face.
You risked your safety and that of the Eye? That's quite the gamble, Dainsleif. But I believe that I am the one walking into a trap laid by the Twilight.
So you came here all on your own?
When the Twilight Sword is prepared for battle, any army I could send would only be marching to their doom. Better that I face you alone. I know you must have a lot to... But if it's a conversation you want, you'll have to defeat me first.
Did he have to send us out before she showed up?
The ley lines are all out of whack. We better hurry back to Vimar. Hey, look at those hilly trails. Weren't they acting super agitated just a little while ago?
In the New World, they bade farewell at last. They no longer needed to dwell on their suffering. Such was the price they paid.
Did you hear that? What was that sound? It sounded so Oh, this is weird. Looks like the same thing is happening over here.
You see, we've reclaimed and released you.
Over there. It looks like they're sleeping.
In the end, sleep well, Father. When you awake.
It almost sounds like a poem or... Well, now that the hilly let's put this situation to the side for now. Dane said this might be our
There is no escape!
I clicked the wrong person first.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Grandpa Medea, is everyone all right? The Abyss Order...
The Abyss Order? Thank you for your...
Well, that's good to hear. Oh, also, you didn't happen to come across any clues about... Huh? Well, you know, that's kind of the whole...
Ah, I do apologize, you two. At least right now, I can't seem to recall...
But how is that? Something's definitely not right. We just talked to Grandpa. What do you think, Traveler? Could everyone's memories of the missing villager have been erased again? You're right.
Someone's gone missing? Who?
Just as expected. That guy who said a bunch of nice things, he's around 20 years old.
Oh, I know who you're...
Really? You remember?
There aren't many young people who've earned that kind of praise from me. Then there's only one person who fits the bill. No doubt about it. But why'd you say he's gone missing? Yeah, I just saw...
Strange. Bayram seems to remember him. And apparently he just saw him? Do you think maybe...
If this person only exists, if we really did try, just like what happened with Greater Lord Rukadevada,
no one remembers him. Because there's been a change in people's memories. If this person only... Just like what happened with Greater Lord... No, Bahram's...
Right! Paimon totally forgot about the leyline disturbances. Just like how you entered your sibling's memory. That would also explain why we seem to be at a time before he went missing. It's a memory after all. Right. If he's someone who only... But didn't Bayron just say that he saw him leave the village with someone? Or who knows how long this ley line disturbance is gonna... Good idea! That'll help us narrow things down. We pretty much figured out that the missing villager has the ability to... Right! That! Could we try to figure... Like, does it maybe leave a trace that would somehow give him away?
There's a difference between memories that arise from If time was allowed to pass within the... All the memories seem to be set in or near Vimara village. Maybe not. No.
No wonder! All this time and the sky hasn't changed a bit! That's the tell of the fate. The implanted memories are basically taking place outside of the... If the memories included the regular passage of time, it would be easy, like there could be overlappers. That's why he makes sure the memories take place at a specific moment in time, rather...
Dainsleif had memories implanted into his... We thought Chief Amadea forgot about the The color of the sky coincide.
Oh, right! That...
Oh, come to think of it, every time we talked, time always passed by really slowly. Even when it felt like we'd...
Yep, that has to be it! This is definitely it. Yeah, that's where they'll be...
Let's see... By the way, if you're ever wondering what characters are able to sprint like Yelan does, where she has her regular sprint and her ability is a sprint, Yelan does it, Sayu does it, and Lynette does it. I don't know about any others, though. I know about those three.
So, you see, Granny Jahiet was a mercenary when she was younger. Oh, there I go again. Always talking about my own things. It's okay if you don't.
Oh, I think you're an incredible... You'll meet many amazing people and live a very happy life. You won't miss someone like me.
Huh? Are those your friends over there?
Oh, right! This version of Atosa hasn't...
Friends? I guess you could say that. It must have taken them a lot of effort to find... So... I should see what they need. I'm sorry, Atosa. We'll have to continue this conversation another time.
Another time, huh?
It's nice to see you, Traveler. I believe this is the first time we've met.
Born into abject sorrow, he shall now be Dane's brother, one of the the founder of the Abyss Order. No, that doesn't seem right. You're...
Oh. You know me? That's quite the surprise. Oh, I see. It was the memory, wasn't it? Your sibling's memory. You saw... This is Atosa's memory. I came here to... But I suppose I'll just leave her a message instead. Come, let's find somewhere else to...
For anybody who has spent time translating the symbols in Genshin, let me know what that said.
I suppose you could call it the realm of my consciousness. I'm someone who no longer exists in the real world, after all. It's nothing. I still have enough strength to play the part of a good host. I've always hoped that I'd get the chance to talk to you like this. Extreme sorrow and pain. Hope and regret coursing through your veins. And a father told me that once I possessed all those elements, but despite his intentions for me, I never truly became the Loom of Fate. I was merely used as a means for its in truth. I died the moment I set everything in motion. The person you see before you now is nothing but a remnant of consciousness left over within the... As for your question, the Loom of Fate is a device capable of weaving ley lines. In its primitive form, it can only be used to create and implant memories. But, as more of it is completed, its power becomes stronger and stronger, until finally, once fully completed, the moment it gains the power to weave ley lines, it loses the lower level ability to influence memories. But it also becomes a tool that can change the entire world. Yes, I have the ability to control the loom in its semi-completed form. I suppose you can think of it as a form of compensation. After all, its existence cost me my life. That. I was wrong to implant those memories. I just wanted them to feel like I once existed in this, as if... Why would I do something so... But I had to know what it would be like if I had my own life. What kind of person I would be. Chief Ahmadiyya, Baram, Granny Jahiyat, Atosa. What would it be like if I could live alongside them? No cataclysm, no curse. I was curious, so even if that meant piecing together the version of myself that could have been, I know it sounds stupid. After all, my life ended a long time. Any chance at living was stripped away from me when I was 8 years old. My consciousness, left to mature in an illusory world. Even the form you see before you was nothing but an invention based on my father's appearance. An imagined version of what I would look like if I had the chance to grow up. I know. But there's nothing I can do to... If I could exist in the real world, I would return without a second thought and surprise them with the I know. Captain Dainsleif. Twilight Sword, you mean? No need to meet up with him. Things should already be... Exactly. As someone who could only exist in people's memories, the fact that I'm able to talk... The Loom of Fate has already been completed. No need to worry about Captain Dainsleif. He's absolutely fine. The only reason he lost the eye was because I happened to guess exactly what he was planning. Captain Dainsleif has had the eye inside his body this whole time, hasn't he? His plan was to lure the Abyss Order to a false location, capitalizing on their pursuit of the eye, in order to have the chance to He would then hand the eye to you, and tell you to take it away from that That way, Captain Dainsleif could accomplish his own goal and ensure the safety of the eye, all at once. That's right, because in his mind, he had given it to you already. Before you two entered that false location.
Traveler, wait. We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
That was when I implanted the memory of him handing you... Given the tense situation at that time, Captain Dainsleif failed to notice anything out of the ordinary. I'm sorry, Traveler, but I needed the Loom of Fate to be completed. And to do that... I promise I'm not trying to conceal anything from you, but... Tevat's ley line system is deeply entrenched in the planet. Creating new ley lines can neither replace nor extend the ones that already exist. In the face of everything they could be planning, I fear I'm too insignificant to even get a glimpse of the... In any case, I had my own use for the Loom of Fate, and my goal... You remember my father, don't you? Clotar Alberic. I believe you saw him in your sibling's memory, after he used the power of the Abyss to restore consciousness to my hilichurl form. I... To comfort me, my father told me a story. That this was a fairy tale world, where I had to take on the form of a little monster. That story managed to dispel my fears. My goal was simple. To use the Loom of Fate in its near-completed form. To implant a specific memory into the minds of the hill. In that memory, I would tell them a story. Just like... I can't change the world. Not when I lost the very right to all that's left of my existence is a wisp of residual conscience. But now, the bedtime story.
Looks like I was too late to see Kari Bear one last time. Kari Bear's consciousness is gone, and this space will soon disappear along with it. Neither of us belongs here. That's why we're not tangible. Were that not the case, I'd love to hug you too. Well, how about a conversation? The chance to just stop and talk like this is certainly not easy to come by. That battle earlier was tough. The one against Dane. I didn't expect that after everything, he would still hesitate to raise his sword against me. Were it not for that, perhaps I'd still be no match for the Twilight Sword. Even after the loom of fate, huh? I still haven't found a way to utilize it to its full potential. But before the heavenly principles awaken. Yes, for 500 years now, ever since the cataclysm in Conria, there's been no sign of activity. Not long ago, you witnessed the Hydro Archon destroy her divine throne. Yes, such a flagrant disregard for the rules, and still Celestia took no action. I suppose that's proof enough of the Heavenly Principles situation. However, the Heavenly Principles will awaken. We just don't know when that will be. You could say that. Just look at Kari Bear. He was so pure and single-minded. The space we now find ourselves is a perfect representation of who he was. Even as a hilly churl, seeing the terrible sight within the mirror wasn't enough to taint his spirit. He brought comfort to the people of this world, even though he was So ask yourself this. Of course, that's only one example. My feeling... Ether?
You're the only one in this world who calls me that. There's so much I wanted to ask you, but for some reason, I'm not interested in asking those questions right now. There's just one thing I have to ask. One thing I could never understand. Why? Why can't we continue our journey together?
At the end of my journey, I arrived at a place known as the Sea of Flowers at the end. Do you remember? A long time ago, when we traveled between worlds together, you told me you wanted to find a place in the universe where that one flower was in full bloom. To have a place like that suddenly appear before me. Well, would you think of that as a coincidence?
You mean...
I miss you too, Ether. But as this war continues to rage, and as I continue to seek that final answer, I don't even know how to face myself sometimes, let alone my own brother. This space has lost its tether. I doubt it'll be able to exist much longer. In fact, aside from our inability to physically interact with each other, there's something else you should know about this space. Everything in this space will be wiped from existence, including all memory.
You're only telling me this now?
so sleepy. Oh, Paimon woke up a little earlier than you, so Paimon will fill you in. The villagers said that they saw us sleeping near the village yesterday. Oh, and Dane came by just now. It looked like he didn't say anything, though. Just made sure that you were all right and left. Kinda seemed like he had a lot on his mind, but that... Let's think for a second. We were in that mess. He was the missing villager that we've been trying to find, right? And after that, Paimon doesn't remember what happened. Wait, really? Well, what happened after that?
Ah, there you are.
Bayram? You sure seem happy. Did something good happen?
Something good? Huh. It's just that, well, the village organized another search party yesterday. It did. So there we were, searching away, when suddenly this one guy said, according to him, one day around dusk he was passing by this one tree out. There he was, sleeping under that tree all by himself. His parents came a little later to wake him up, and they all left together. And after that, well, we all started to feel like that really is what happened. Kind of strange that we... Oh, and we also remembered his name, Curry Bear. Now, that's not a name you hear every day. Would have been helpful if we remembered it sooner. Well, I hope he's happy.
Seems like everyone thinks Curry Bear left the village. That's probably for the best. At least, Paimon didn't see her in the village just...
Damn. This Archon quest was packed full of info.
Oh, it's you two. I was part of the search party. Honestly, I just can't believe I forgot something so important. It's funny, but I have this feeling he told me the same thing. I guess it doesn't really matter anyway. Life is made up. I'm just happy I got to... Okay, I'll admit, I was dumped. Otherwise, why would he just leave like that without... You don't need to... It's just like Curry Bear said. It's the things we overcome that... And, you know, if he has a heart... Anyway, thanks for all...
Well, that should be it, right? Everyone's lives can go back... Oh, right! Weren't you about to tell Paimon what happened after your a pig?
Well, that's cool. Time for another wish. Who'd I get now?
It's good to meet you at last,
Yes!
Traveler. I've been hearing about you for a long time now. I'm your new buddy, Toma. As long as that's okay with you, of course.
Toma is a fire shielder, which will work good with Mono Pyro Team. Let me just get him up a few levels.
Really?
He needs the pyro hypostasis. That's not fun. Okay. Do. Let's do a lift on here. Nothing. Let's head over to the Adventurers Guild.
Add Astra. Thank you for
Claim this.
Add Astra.
Claim all. Dispatch again. Let's head over to this. Hit cook. There we go. Let's make quite a few. That'll do. Let's head over to the blacksmith. And see if what I'm able to make. As well as grab. I'm gonna choose leeway first. I'll grab Mondstadt after, and 19 of those. That should cover the battle pass. For people wondering, the mine 10 items. You can easily do this here at the chasm. Your first stop would be right here. Grab those. You can follow your path over here. Grab that one, this one, and this one. That will be at least 10. If for some reason it's not 10 and you feel like it shorted you one or you missed one or whatever, there is another one over here. And that is your guaranteed 10 a day. In terms of resin, what I am going to do is figure out who I'm taking on first. Actually, correction. Judgment Day. We are doing Cloran's story quest. Because I still have a few hours left of recording time for this stream.
Huh? Do you also see Navia and Cloran over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on.
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself on.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to it.
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty.
This is getting pretty
Navia, Cloran, what's up?
Oh my. Well,
Navia?
Huh?
Yep, this is our chance.
Well, that look was something.
Do you need our
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge...
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment Day?
Marechaussee!
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with your friends. Oh, I've loved their stuff ever since I was a kid.
That sounds
Sounds
super
like D&D.
interesting.
Clorand and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest it for them. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean, come on, a brand new script? Nobody has ever played it before.
Mm-hmm. Generally speaking.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet. No spoilers, please.
Anyway, the script called...
So, you're saying you'll help us out? I knew I could count on you, partner.
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a package deal.
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players, and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? Paimon will follow you.
Well, that solves our problem. You have our thanks.
Woohoo! I'll go grab the script manager from the club right away.
The script manager?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script manager provides the next part of the script only after players have... On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life. We'll only know where we should go once the script manager reveals the story.
Wow, you're right. Whoever wrote this script really did put in a lot of work.
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right? I mean, even the GM doesn't know how the story will end.
I look forward to experiencing it with you all.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chioria Boutique. I'll come over with the script manager as soon as I find them.
Sounds good. Remember to...
You say that like I'm 6 years old or something. Let me think. What kind of...
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to persuade every animal you come across.
So, Genshin put in a story quest that's basically the Traveler, Paimon, Clorand, and Navia playing D&D. Interesting.
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting.
You're back! Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you.
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you also members of the Tabletop Troupe?
So, by the way, everybody, remember how I said Toma is a good pyro shielder for mono pyro teams? Well, just so happens, Linny there. If you got Linny in his banner, he is really good in a mono pyro team, and he works well with a shielder. So if you get Toma, and if you have Linny, try to get Toma.
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette Fremine and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clorand simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and...
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality of the script.
Do you participate in a lot of Tabletop Troupe activities?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of the troupe.
Ah, right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
It's nothing. Really, just a small hobby of mine.
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist.
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for my players. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. I put all personal feelings to the side and grant a fair duel to all who seek to defend their honor. But in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person. Someone who feels anger and sadness, just like everyone else.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering whether you were actually mad or if it just looked that way.
I was probably in work mode during those times.
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your
So you want to see me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show of anger.
Interesting.
Ah, I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello? Wait, are you a champion duelist too?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the roles in my script.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marushose hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events unfolding in the capital.
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of the
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marushose hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city by using a special swordsmanship technique passed down over generations. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out and discover later.
Mm-hmm. And I'll provide additional commentary as the...
In that case, brave hunters, are you ready to set...
Oh, just one sentence and it's like we're in the story already!
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me. Very well, head over to this location and begin...
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes? Ooh, sounds pretty innovative. What does the
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal permission to use the venue. Huh, seems like they... Please check all your belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything. Once you're...
Sounds good! Hunters...
So everybody in stream, I hope you're doing well. People who are watching this later on YouTube, just a reminder that the link to my Twitch can be found in the description of the video. When this uploads, you should be able to click the link in the description to get my Twitch profile. In my Twitch profile is a link to the YouTube, as well as the community Discord, where myself and a few of my friends post when we're going live. Some other people in the Discord who have recently been posting when they're going live is a good friend of mine, Krampus, as well as Tej. Both of them are doing really well for themselves at the moment, so go send some love and tell them I sent you. Let's get into it.
Whoa, they really have thought of everything. Even the Fatometer is here and ready to go for us.
The Fatometer?
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use...
And what about all the dessert and tea?
That's what the message said.
Really? That's so...
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all up!
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than...
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty! If there are delicious snacks to be found...
The desserts are great. But...
Very fair. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you, and write down your... You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. In this story, everyone is a Marachose hunter. To reflect this, the club has prepared a small badge for everyone.
Ooh, nice!
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all of this?
Why don't you share a character card then? The Traveler will be the Marachose hunter, and...
Kinda like... So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of my character?
Yep. It can be any name you like.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get too lazy to think of it.
Oh! So it would be like experiencing a different life. But still,
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular skill, the easier it will be to pass.
I'll take persuasion and investigation. Those are must-haves when it comes to missions like these.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence.
So should we also take those?
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia and use our skill points to pick. For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situations we can't negotiate our way out of.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. Let me see. I'll take arts and performance. I'm not quite sure what use they'll be, but I'm not as knowledgeable about the other skills, and I'm not too confident I'd be able...
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler? Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people's thoughts. Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see. Oh, looks like you each have enough points to choose one final skill.
You've all picked such classic skills. It's fine to go a little bit out of the box.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause...
For example, this one here. Summon. Doesn't it sound...
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain circumstances to summon characters or creatures that fit the script's world...
The script's world-building rules, huh? But...
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you. And the GM will...
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn summon, then.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their character... Since two of our players are doing this for the first time, though, let me ask. Would you like to play on easy mode, or...
what's the difference?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results of the fatometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A critical failure may even result in further... If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail, and face any consequence. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy.
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role-playing games. I'm going with authentic mode for sure. Never knowing what you might have to overcome. Ugh, doesn't that sound exciting?
I'd rather be mentally prepared for what might happen.
All right. Then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default. As usual.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Just for the sake of getting through this, I'm gonna do this.
Are you sure?
No need to worry.
Honestly, I don't think...
No promises.
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get
If there's any
speaking
hidden
of the story.
achievement for going through authentic mode, I will research that later,
Well, that's
and
because
if need be, I
a
can redo
long
it.
time ago,
I might be
back
able
when
to redo
human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. They created a host of monsters and sent them to slaughter all humans in existence. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster that sought their destruction. They became known.
Again, sorry if I skipped through dialogue too quickly.
Sometime later, as a member of the Marechaussee Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, you take a boat. As you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of a few others who, like you, your eyes meet. And you realize these people are fellow Marechaussee hunters, likely led to this location after receiving...
You're all Marechaussee hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marechaussee hunter and later chose...
Is this where you My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts. Even though I'm a Marechaussee hunter, what... Hey, you can do it, Farina.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marechaussee hunter right here.
I've been studying medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters and use what I've...
Oh, welcome, welcome. When we face them on...
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marechaussee hunters, our kingdom is currently facing a great... The lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness. We beseech you, please help us resolve..."
The layout of this city looks super familiar.
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree-lined streets and the gentle tranquil... Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell. Its hollow gates are open to you, beckoning you...
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom.
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together. They sensed that things were...
In that case... Oh, good idea.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern?
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today.
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is quite lovely. If only those monsters out there would stop causing trouble.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep asking questions...
Oh, come now, don't be sad. Life is all about optimism.
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind. Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons?
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying this, but you don't really look like a chef.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. Hey! Did she just... me?
Chlorian must have broke character. This isn't getting us anywhere.
The results of insight checks aren't disclosed to the players, so I'll be the one consulting the phaetometer. You recall all the lessons you've learned in your time, and begin to care. You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far away. And when she speaks, she often subconsciously reaches out to touch the ring on her left hand. So you noticed. That's a horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently. So...
Do you remember when those monsters...
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my husband was dispatched to fight them 3...
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't even tell me where they were sending him.
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible.
Oh, thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do...
You bid farewell to the woman, and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very... friendly, merchants are usually a good...
Pardon me, sir.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about...
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar?
Surely an onion can't be...
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you...
Whoa, what a nasty guy.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem you... If you happen to be well informed, and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd appreciate it if you could share that information with us. After all...
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna be in big trouble.
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break us. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now.
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business. And I bet...
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes his head and lets out a long sigh.
This guy seems promising enough. Hello, sir. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Oh, wait, you're... Oh, dear goodness, you're...
You recognize us? Ah.
Yes, yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh...
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil sorcerer has been meddling in our...
Are there not enough
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove back the monsters. So, on the off chance that something might come of it, to be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just...
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous and formidable
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with tears of relief.
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need...
All I know is that the area although... If you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group of guards.
I see. We'll go...
All right. They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with malicious magic. They're the reason why, even inside the city, even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure, interested in nothing but enacting laws that exploit the people.
Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard...
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up?
Like...
I appreciate your kindness, but for now, it's more important... Brave hunters...
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that need solving, right?
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and take down the evil sorcerer stirring up...
But which problem...
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and discuss what you want to do. Let me know.
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally...
Well, Clarence said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real-life Marashose hunter...
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history, but there are definitely some similarities.
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You brought up bits and pieces of the hunter's history before, but...
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super powerful, right?
No. All Marashose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart were the special sword techniques passed down...
Huh? So you mean anyone could...
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training and master the swordsmanship techniques required to fight the monsters.
How's it going, Panda? Welcome to the stream.
Still, most people dropped out at the early stages, and others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person. To become a hunter, you must be strong in both body and mind.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly? Oh, and the evil sorcerer the script mentions. Did they exist in real life too?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear, intent on obstructing humans from establishing a new social order.
That sucks, Panda. I'm sorry you're sick. I hope you feel better.
One of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems. He sought to use that force to establish himself as king.
Now wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script. We still haven't found any in-game information on him yet.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else, then... How about Casiodor, the Golden Hunter? Or Egeria, the ex-Hydro Archon?
Wait, but those people are all from a super long time ago. Where did you learn all this?
From my master.
Huh. My master?
Someone...
Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends. Back in the day, she would often bring Clorando...
Let's not get off topic. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed Cassiodor into battle against the monsters. This group of warriors, under Cassiodor's leadership, yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete. The Marechaussee Phantom, originally an association made up of hunters, eventually came to be predominantly comprised of Melusines.
Ah, I see. That explains why most of the people in the script have forgotten the hunters or think of them as nothing more than a legend.
Is that really a bad thing, though? It can get tough always being the one shouldering everyone.
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands respect, investigate it.
Speaking of investigations, which problem should we tackle first? Monster.
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right? We can come back to the source.
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing, defeating the monsters could give us...
What about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided.
All right. After some...
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat dripping down his forehead. I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone...
I said talk, not
Have you ever heard of the
Marechaussee hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? Using your knowledge of medicine.
I'm a doctor by trade. Please, let me redress your wound.
The man appears somewhat disgruntled at having been exposed, but soon relents and raises his... He allows you to apply a poultice of specialized medicine to the wound, and it appears to bring him much... Oh, right. Guess you lot might actually be real Marechaussee hunters after all. In any case, you've succeeded.
Do you know where we can find the monsters, or the...
He informs you of the various locations where monsters have appeared. He looks in that general direction with a pained gaze, as if a thin, invisible... Some of our new recruits have never even dealt with a petty thief, and now they're out there fighting monsters.
Oh, please, sir. Don't get...
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope Those monsters aren't easy to deal with, but I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell.
This is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered. All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle.
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters...
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just an...
A little help here! This thing wants...
Your battle round begins. Now.
And voila!
Let the world collide! Attack! Coming at ya!
The next battle round begins now.
Watch out!
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating.
Ugh, thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
I never knew the fatalizer even determines the amount of damage you inflict.
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty
I love when
of fate
stuff
is
like
what
that
gives
happens.
these...
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump? Wait, could it be...
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery.
Ooh, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wood even without opening it. You can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must contain quite the fortune.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it.
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got...
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought since we were the ones to dig it up...
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game...
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marashose hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally?
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with...
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food?
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late.
Wow, where did the time...
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because the story is particularly enticing, but I feel like I could almost keep going.
Here, here. Ooh, how about we...
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will...
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next part of the script.
Whoa, they really pulled out all the stop?
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Clorane finish her story, right? Paimon wants to hear...
Something tells me you just want to finish the
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy her own. And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Clorane.
Well...
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some time before that.
What a heavy beginning for a life story.
Master was a fascinating individual, if inexperienced in the ways of raising children. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child? Isn't that dangerous?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this wound. After that, it's time to learn how to truly hold a blade."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorand, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Probably around, 3, give or take.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what they're capable of.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a Geovishap hatchling.
A Geovishap hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous.
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight.
And how old were you when this happened?
5.
Well, did you win?
No, I lost.
So, you're saying you...
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a marechaussee hunter, but I never heard her bring up... Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That was also how I met...
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Ms.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think many members of the...
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh, we tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip.
Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until, like Navia said, we overheard the truth from Mr. Callis that night.
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the... Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to do with it. And anyway, everything she did was... Although, calling herself the Protector of Order was a bit much. Especially when she
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the...
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just 2. The
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the 2 she'd used by the time she got back.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual. With her strong sense of justice,
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone powerful.
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night...
Disappeared?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callis's house to ask about...
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they...
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, I was at first, but not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow it.
I suspect my position would be far too...
Who knew Clorand had such an interest? And I wonder if Clorand's master were the champion duelist back then. Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorand and Navi are probably thinking something similar. The mood just got...
Well, anyway... would you look at the time? It's getting dark, so we should...
I had a great time today, Miss Clorand. Thank...
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say... Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-Bishop sometime. Maybe your
You could be...
What does she mean, on to something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight. Guess I'll head back as well.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the...
I was talking about the...
Alright, people. Let's see. We are currently about to hit the 2.5-hour mark, so I'd like to remind everybody that a link to the community Discord and the YouTube is in my Twitch bio, my Twitch profile. And a link to my Twitch is in the YouTube description when this video uploads to YouTube. So people who are watching this later on, come check me out live. For people in stream who feel like they miss anything or they just want to go rewatch stuff, head back over to YouTube and rewatch it when it uploads. Hopefully it'll upload by the end of this week. But to be perfectly honest with you, I have no idea when it's actually going to go public, as it takes time to process and yeah. Alright. Also, let me check. That was the right page. Yep. Okay. I have it. Might as well put the Oculus in. So I'm going to need 35 more to get statue level 10 and +1 for the specialty thing. The extra Oculus to sit in your thing as a trophy. Let's see. Sitting at 139. For the moment, I'm heading to the Serenity Teapot.
This realm... If you ever had...
And another wish. Now, I will say, once I get Alhaitham, if I have not yet gotten Sethos, I will continue to be pulling on these banners. Whether I'll pull for a Const on Alhaitham, or if I pull for Clorand, I do not know yet. But I know my next 5-star will be Alhaitham. As long as the pity system is still working and hasn't been reset.
Let's go meet up with the group. Paimon's really
Pretty decent distance away.
Illusion shattered.
Oh, right. Hold on. I never actually reset my team.
Count me in.
There we go.
Looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important decision.
Is that really the most important part, though, Clorian? Have you all cold railings, dim lights?
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the Fortress of Mer.
So the set is going to be a...
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither
Anyone think Clorian's smile is
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But if we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name? Just...
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile. As long as we're helping people, it doesn't...
Staring at me won't get you anywhere.
Oh, Paimon's... Why aren't you saying anything, Navia?
Oh, this is the short sword Cloran mentioned last night. I found...
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to...
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave it to me. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could dig a tunnel.
Wait, we haven't been thrown in...
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you should always have an umbrella on hand.
Alright, Paimon's made up her mind. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy...
So, you reached an agreement? All right then, we can continue with the story.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back... The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere, in places where sunlight... Thank you, kind soul. The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away.
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to hurry up so we...
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed...
Oh, good idea.
Just as you start to make way to the square... Please wait, distinguished guests. Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to...
Greetings, gentlemen.
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests...
Oh boy.
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to invest.
I say we go for it.
That...
After a quick discussion, gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all...
Wow!
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, sits upon the deep crimson. He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg. They're here, your majesty. A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends down. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze shifts to fixate on...
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by...
The king remains still and says nothing. Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself quite exhausted. I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability with the sword to repel the monsters near the capital. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive me for seeking to verify the truth.
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? So... The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe. It took a lot of effort to... Well, there was enough details, right?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters, that must make...
Well, we did take...
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you return it at once.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward?
Yes, that was indeed what I said. But only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a kingdom without said permission, on the other...
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense! If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried in your grave.
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the court and without What? No answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legend...
Well, what about the king? Is he just gonna let this guy talk?
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving. He stares forward with an empty look in his eyes.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil source?
I would like to observe the number of...
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready, each with a hand placed...
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill-intentioned imposters. What a pit. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine whether you have any...
Can't we try to slip away?
But if we try to fight the guards right now...
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind...
Thanks,
You allow yourself to be led away by guards surrounding you. It's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon ceiling and smell the stench of death and decay all around you. Stay here, and don't. The guards lock the cell door, and...
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall. But the only response you...
No!
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands of...
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards locked...
What about that knife I hid in my boot?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you...
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be...
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell...
Well...
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? That doesn't take...
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint, or gives the GM some kind of code for how to...
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison? Like, they'll only...
That is a...
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison. Oh, wait, guess it's kind of how...
Oh, before I forget. Navia, the short sword you had with you earlier, I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember
Wait, Cloran said that sword used to belong to her master, right?
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything. I'd say the sword was most...
hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master.
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of... I gave you the sword back then, because...
Wait, when did this happen?
After the duel.
Before that, Clorand would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. After the duel, though, there was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. She entrusted this sword to me, and never came back. We were both sad, and whenever I looked at this sword, back then, it felt like I had...
No one can change the past. The most important...
Yep.
I'm sorry, you two.
Think nothing of it.
Looks like the next part of our script.
Perfect timing.
From Claren's face, I really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless dungeon, you lack a reliable way to tell how much time has passed. Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust, and find yourselves alternating between fits of drowsiness. Suddenly, you hear footsteps.
Heads up, everyone.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own.
Huh?
Shh. I've already sent away the other guards, but if we make too...
I understand, but how...
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise. If you want...
Executed?
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure.
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to... Infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I think we can all agree that now is not the...
Have you seen our weapons anywhere?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat his faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed a number of golems in various rooms throughout. To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marashose hunters of the past left behind a treasure with...
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my best to as long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you in the final...
In that case, please stay...
Thank you for your concern. I will... As for the location of the vault, here, this...
Oh, that's an easy spot to find.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making any noise. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marashose hunters. And be sure to exercise caution.
With the help of the guard...
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get...
Looks like I don't even need to find it.
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks suspicious.
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order.
Wow.
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water. Its surface.
Well, guess this means it's...
Oh, what's the matter?
It's not. As you step into the cave.
Wow, this must be where...
But this door is blocking our way in. Huh. It almost looks...
Huh.
A pattern on a stone door.
Is something wrong,
After a long, difficult journey, you finally arrive at the location indicated by your map. It appears to be... Your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene.
That description makes...
We're doing this for the sake of the people. To free the...
Linny's right. We need to keep going. The next part of the story requires us to solve the puzzle.
Yes. Something feels off about all this.
Take it easy.
I found something.
Found something here, too.
Same here. It worked!
Something just appeared.
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourselves. At the end of each puzzle, you're rewarded with...
With?
A key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
Huh? This is one of the Marechaussee Hunter keys that are passed down from generation to generation. It looks just like the one Master passed down to me. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key.
Huh?
You hear a few strange noises.
Huh? What's going on?
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone.
But Paimon can still see a little bit over here. Oh, right. Alright, sorry.
Suddenly, you hear this.
There's someone.
I've been discovered.
Wait. You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for him.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see any.
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a real Marachose hunter.
Retreat! That's not the hunter way.
Your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed until I tell you the torches have been
You got it!
Well then. Loaded.
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword. Is he still standing? Goodness, he sure has a lot.
Is it over? Can we open our eyes now?
The enemy is strong and relentless, but the battle...
What about now?
Final strike. Ha!
Well,
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, that look in his eyes. It's like he became an entirely different person.
Huh? Oh, wait. We're supposed to be... Speak your name, guard. Is this treasure really more...
What kingdom? What? I, Florian, am a true Marachose hunter.
So he's also using his real name. Or...
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a...
What do you know? In this day and age, there's no glory...
What's that supposed to...
My skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the remote wilderness. Still, he devoted every... And what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. In a world, the Marachose hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes. We deserved more recognition.
Is he talking about how no one in the capital seems to remember?
So that's why you want to take the treasure for yourself?
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you just come?
Because I still...
Only a true Marachose, as someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain. Florian.
Okay, but what is this treasure anyway?
You're sure you want to...
We've been talking about it for so long, of course.
And we've already defeated Florian, right?
Watch yourself.
Then let's open the door together.
All right. Your choice of action is confirmed.
Yeah, well, that took a turn.
Before you, the door to the treasure, sealed and undisturbed. You hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse.
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too!
Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most
A stone tablet? And some
You call this a treasure vault?
Maybe the troop ran out of budget?
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning only to drop the ball at the most important part?
Wait, I get it now.
Huh?
This is it? The Marachose hunter treasure?
Whoa, are you...
The Marachose hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of you wish to follow suit, you may remain here in the meantime and
Cloran shows you the location of all of the Fontaine-specific items. If you took a look at the mini-map.
So, how are you doing? Feeling any better?
What just happened?
Do you remember how you got here?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to...
You mean these?
Huh?
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye...
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It would seem...
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. Something... The feelings about my father and the other Marechaussee hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry. I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to...
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives?
I can't remember. My head is a mess.
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a devorator.
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean... never talked about it? It was a...
No, I've heard of it. I'm just not sure why you... Wait, it can't be...
The seal?
My family has served as Marechaussee hunters for many generations. But the title in swordsmanship, my father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain it regularly. He said it had been passed down over a truly ancient age, but I neglected that duty after he died. I finally did.
The Devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being. Even one, if you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption. In light of this, some Marechaussee hunters chose to seal the Devorator away, in the hopes that a permanent solution would come with...
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts, to the point where they overtake...
And yet, you were able to retrieve 3 of the 4 keys. If I remember correctly, each was entrusted to a risk...
One of them belonged to my father. The second I stole from a different hunter. And the third... was one that I snatched while the person... I know just how strong you are. It's as clear as day to everyone in Fontaine. I observed you from dusk to dawn, but could never find any opportunity to sneak up. The only way I could think to obtain that last key was to lure you here using your hobby, and then... Oh, I get it now. That monster...
I won't comment on any...
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic Marechaussee hunters.
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter. You're still...
I have done so many despicable things.
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer in your story. Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who saw...
But I've already tainted my sword.
Wake up, Florian. Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be loved and acknowledged by the people? What did your... You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. Do you still not understand? Even after seeing the treasure for yourself? The contents of that room...
You're right.
I wouldn't be so...
I know. That's a charge I won't bother to defend.
Good. Then, come with me. And help me see the script.
Huh? See the script through...
Never finished.
No, I mean... I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring you all here. There was no...
Then we'll just have to keep writing it. The evils...
You mean... the Devorator? Are you saying I have to make up the rest?
Is that really so hard? You've already written most of it. Surely you can write an ending where the hunters win and justice prevails.
You aren't afraid your party will fall?
I know what my friends are capable of, and they're all quite skilled.
Then, are you going to tell them that...
I don't intend to spoil the fun. Sometimes, protecting dreams and fantasy...
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow Mara...
Tone it down.
Sorry. After crossing swords with you and witnessing your courage in battle, I've rediscovered my true self and regained my pride.
Oh, do I...
I confess, I was brainwashed by the evil sorcerer. He asked me to lure you.
That little... Wait, you're saying all of that wasn't you, but...
That's right. He's adept at manipulating the hearts and minds of the people. I fell under his influence.
Huh. And how are you going to prove that you're a changed man?
To be perfectly honest, I only came to my senses after seeing the treasure. It reminded the treasure was actually...
The names of all the Marechaussee hunters from ages past and their weapons?
Wait, you already...
Of course. Don't underestimate a veteran role player's exploration skills. Oh, wait.
We just finished reading through the content of the stone tablet.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating people. For example, she inherited the responsibilities of the Golden Hunter and passed judgment on many people. But in private, she had a very easygoing personality. Her favorite pastime was singing and dancing with her friends.
So, she was just like you.
Oh, you really think so?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose I also have a few things in common with this Walter. Working as an executioner, he supposedly used a countless number of tricks to confound his enemies in battle. Oh, if only I could have seen the feats of...
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments. How could they have all been forgotten?
Because they chose to be. To hunt monsters that only appear in the shadows, you must also operate.
Then this stone tablet must have...
That's right. Few Marechaussee hunters ever revealed their identity to the public. They always protected the city. The only time they spoke of their accomplishments would be at night, when they gathered with their fellow hunters in front of the bonfire to share stories of the monsters.
So, this tablet was created not so that the hunters would be remembered by the people.
No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the stone tablet in solemn silence. The names of your comrades etched onto its surface. The tablet proves that, although a hunter walks a shrouded path, it is not a solitary one. Their legacies shall continue to be passed down from generation to generation.
Father, you once told me that I should seek out the treasure if I ever became lost. Thank you, my friend. I implore you, everyone.
Well, sounds good to me.
I have no objections, but Mr. Flory...
When he took over my mind, I gained some insight into his thoughts. Every time I thought of the treasure, he reacted.
Huh? He's afraid of the treasure? But there's nothing
What if the secret's hidden in a GM?
At first glance, the weapons appear absolutely ordinary. But as you observe them, you notice these blades have slain countless monsters. Though it's been a long time since they were used.
So basically, take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to Est. Maybe it'll find comfort in being held by someone who appreciates the arts.
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick a cool...
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through your being.
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find...
I was able to see his surroundings when our minds were connected. I believe he's currently hiding out at the church in the kingdom. We must be extremely careful. He's spent so long living among monsters that he's now taken the form of one.
Then why don't we explore some...
No, we have to strike now. He was greatly weakened when I managed to break out of his control. If we let him rest,
I agree with Mr. Florian.
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no point in waiting. The longer this drags on...
Yes, that's what's called... Yes, that...
Alright, you've persuaded...
Mr. Florian?
Of course.
He had to set up so many scenes today, and now he has to join in for this last part.
Finally, you decide to slay the evil. As you walk away, You feel the gaze of the stone tablet at your back, as if all the Finally, you arrive at the church. As you approach, an ominous aura surrounds you.
How strange. This honey...
Now, it is time for the final battle.
Let's go!
Florian, wait.
What's wrong?
I think you should wait outside. You've already been corrupted by the Devorator. I don't think it's a good idea for you to be this close.
That's exactly why I have to go. Yes.
That's too risky.
I understand, but if I do this, you'll have a clear... The Devorator will have a hard time passing up a chance to enter a body it knows how to control. You won't have to worry about any of your friends. You're not like me, Miss Clorand. You're a just and powerful This is... Consider it a duel to restore my honor. My only request is that you give it your all.
Then, as a champion duelist, I hereby accept your request for a duel, and extend... The battle is now upon us. Let the Devorator once again tremble on...
So before we continue, I'm grabbing this chest. I'll grab that out. Well, lovely. This is another side quest where this little girl appears all over Fontaine. Anytime you see an easel, this is most likely what you'll get. Again, if you want to read this, I'm sorry I'm skipping through it. For the sake of time, I skipped through it.
Huh? So lifelike.
Boom.
foe is not invincible. You hold the treasure. The power to defeat it in your own 2 hands.
The treasure? You mean... The names! It's the Marechaussee Hunters' names!
How are we supposed to...
You forget, Paimon? There's still one skill we saved until the very end.
Hunters fight not for fame, but to aid the people whenever they are summoned.
Walter the Marechaussee Hunter, master of 1,000 tricks, executioner of the Phantom Hunters, I call for aid!
Est, the Marechaussee Hunter, inheritor of Cassiodor's will, judge of the Shadow Hunters. Answer my call! Petronia, protector of justice and order, the hunter I respect the most. Thank you for saving my friend, the best one I'll ever know. Please, lend us your strength!
We have come to answer your summons. And so, the monsters were eradicated, and the peace soon returned to the capital. Those in the court, manipulated by the sorcerer, some remembered the names of the heroes who saved their kingdom. But others simply continued their lives none the wiser. Such is the story of they will always protect the city. Yes,
It's a pretty solid story overall. I thought it was just an ordinary adventure at first, but the further we got in, that final battle especially...
Oh, right. That's a really good point. I never expected the weapons we picked up from the...
Yeah, mine nearly scared the daylights out of me when it started glowing. I took a good look at it after we got out, but I don't think it ever lit up again. Oh, we should probably give these props back, right?
Did you have a good time?
Of course. Let me know if...
Sure, no problem.
Then I'll head back for now. I think I need some time. Once Mr. Florian is awake, please pass on my regards to...
You're right. He's had a lot...
Well, see you all some other time. Okay, so... can
I think it should be fine.
What in the world was...
That time in the cave when you told us to close our eyes? It'd be weirder if we...
I was dying of curiosity the entire time. I mean, you did a pretty bang-up job of pretending nothing had gone wrong. Farina...
Guess none of us wanted to be the one to break the illusion.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, wait. Don't tell me Paimon never... Oh, this is all my fault. It's not too late to cover...
Bit late for...
You're saying everything that happened back there?
It's probably more accurate to say this was never a real scripted story.
What?
So loud.
Hey, you! Get up right now and explain...
No shaking, please!
Did Paimon just hear that right? You guys made up that... It's not nice to lie to people, but... Paimon's gotta admit, that was a really good story, Flor.
Yeah, it was like watching a magician improvise a spectacular...
If Paimon knew something was wrong with...
Everything was under control.
As if you've ever described a situation as being out of control. I'm pretty sure any situation you consider to be easy to handle would...
Guess I'm just used to it.
You must run into a lot of unexpected situations then. That explains why you're...
As for you, Florian...
I know there's no excuse for what I did.
I would say you've already suffered more than enough. You may have been blinded by fame and fortune in the beginning, but your actions during the final battle have... You'll be far more used to the city above ground than below. Your job as a hunter is more...
But...
Of course, you'll still need to take the keys and pay a personal visit to the 2 hunters you wronged. Prepare to accept any terms they give.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, though, your showing in the duel was enough to prove your honor.
Then, thank you so much, everyone. Until we meet again.
Speaking of Marashose hunters, what should we do about the treasure in that cave?
Leave it be.
Are you sure? We could show it to people, make it so that...
No. Every name on that tablet made the same choice. I am no exception. My identity as a Marashose hunter is not something I need people to remember. I wish...
That's certainly very different from the path of a magician.
Wait! I just remembered something. If there were no special effects involved...
That's because the Marashose hunters of ages past would often imbue their weapons with special enchantments to suppress the monsters. Whenever a monster was nearby...
Oh, so that's why they had an effect on that guy near the end. I really thought the summons were doing all the work.
Well, I'm sure the summons were a part of it too.
Oh? How so?
This particular Devorator probably hailed from the same era as the hunters we saw in the room. The names you recited all belonged to the bravest hunters. Countless monsters fell to their blades. That's likely why the Devorator visibly reacted when you said them out loud.
So the names held the power all along!
Navia? Everything you...
Huh? Oh,
I really appreciated those words.
all right. Don't get all anyway, let's not talk about that anymore. I'm going to go on.
She ran off!
I should probably head back as well. This story was true.
Traveler. Should your name and deeds be forgotten, what do you...
I suppose the significance would be the journey itself and the world we helped create. There's still value in the time I shared with everyone here, in the things we were able to accomplish.
A great answer. I'll remember it. Me, the Marashose hunter, says nothing in response. Perhaps her answer lies in her silence. An unspoken vow left to echo through the night.
And that is that quest completed. And with that, I'm going to finish up my stream here. Thank you to everybody who popped in. Thank you to everybody who, checks out my content later on when this is uploaded to YouTube. I've said it a few times throughout the stream. In my Twitch profile, there is a link to the Discord where my friends and myself post when I'm going live or any updates regarding that sort of stuff. The more people join it, the more active people are, the livelier it gets. So it may seem slow right now, but it is a growing community, so please head over there and liven it up if you would. There's also a link to my YouTube and my Twitch profile. This stream will be uploaded to YouTube later this week, that's my current plan. I hope it actually follows through with that.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities.
So, yeah, on the YouTube side of things, when this uploads, please go to the description of the video. Check out the link to my Twitch so you guys can come watch me live, chat and stream, all that good stuff. I will be doing some polls off camera, most likely at some point. I will also probably be doing some resin off camera, just building characters, that sort of stuff. Preparing for Matlin update. Overall, thank you everybody who popped into stream. If there's anybody who wishes to support my stream, the best way for my content, the best way for you to do that is to subscribe here on subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, Those are the free options. Leave likes, share it to people that you know, get more people in my stream. That is the best way for you to support me. So if you wish to do that, I request that you do that. I'm not going to ask people for money, as everybody needs money. I don't want to take from anybody else. So I appreciate everybody who popped in. See you guys next time.